The last but definitely not the least conic section that we'll talk about will be your hyperbola. So going back to your double right circular cone. Okay. Now when the plane intersects this cone in a way that the plane is perpendicular to the base, then the hyperbola is formed. And take note, hyperbolas come in pairs. Okay. So how do we define hyperbola? Okay. So hyperbola is the set of all points in a plane such that the absolute value of the difference of the distances from two fixed points, which you call your foci, is constant. So for example, okay, we have a hyperbola here. Okay, this is how your hyperbola looks like. Okay. So as I mentioned, they come in pairs. Okay, so they should have a pair. Okay, sorry, shorts. Okay, there. So this is an example of a hyperbola. Okay, so the absolute value of the distances, of the difference of the distances from two fixed points is constant. So if these are your hyperbola, so this is the y-axis, x-axis. So just like all other conic sections, not all, so just like your ellipse, your circle, you have a center. Okay, for instance, your center here is at the origin. Okay, your hyperbola has vertices here. There are two, vertex here and another here. Because of that, so you also have a fixed point, your focus. Okay, so here, focus here, and another here. So plural foci. Okay. So the distance, absolute value of the difference of the distance from two fixed points is constant. Absolute value, so meaning to say, if you have any point, for instance, any point along your hyperbola here, any point, okay, then the absolute value of the difference, so if you want to know the distance from this point, okay, to this focus, is actually equal, okay, so from the with the distance here from this point to say the vertex, okay, distance here and here is equal, okay, when you get the distance, okay, from, for instance, this focus to this point and from this point to the vertex. Okay. Now, aside from your center, your vertices, your foci, you have other parts of your hyperbola. Okay, so what are these parts? Alright, so these parts will be the following. Okay, so obviously you have your directrix. Okay, so your directrix will be in the same, somewhat same concept as the directrix of your parabola, wherein that is a distance away from the vertex. But we are more concerned here of your transverse axis and your conjugate axis. So the transverse axis is defined as the line segment through the center and vertices. So meaning to say, it will pass through the center and the vertex. So for instance, this case, your transverse axis passing through the center and vertices. So this is your transverse axis. Okay. This is we call this your transverse axis because it passes through your center, your vertices. So transverse. Transverse axis. Let me rewrite this. The one in red dotted lines is your transverse axis. Okay. How about your conjugate axis? Your conjugate axis is a line segment that still passes through the center. However, it passes through the center but is perpendicular to your transverse axis. Okay. So the transverse axis, it intersects your hyperbola. The conjugate axis is perpendicular to your transverse axis. Meaning to say, your conjugate axis will be this one. It's not... let me... Here. So there. So this is your conjugate. Let me try to have another color. Let's have yellow. Okay. Or different color. I think let's have a different. Yeah, this one. This will do. Pink will do. Okay, there. So this one, this is perpendicular to your transverse axis. This is what you call your conjugate axis. Okay, also let me rename. So this is your focus. Okay, we have focus 1, focus 2. We have vertex 1, vertex 2. Then you have your center. The one in the middle, the point is the center. Okay. Then transverse axis, this one, and then your conjugate axis, which is the line perpendicular to the transverse axis. Okay. And aside from that, we also have what you call your asymptotes. Okay. So your asymptotes, these are lines that the hyperbola approaches but never touches as it extends to infinity. Hyperbola's asymptotes. Let's add another color. Let's have this one. Okay. So it is a line that the hyperbola approaches. Okay, approach but never meets. And because you have two, so there are also two asymptotes. This one and this. Okay, there. So this is what you call your asymptote. So this word is actually made to be in hugot lines, no? Asymptotes dili sad pinagtagpo, hindi naman pinagtagpo, just approaching but never meet. Okay, this one, asymptotes. So these are the different parts, and then from this you can actually form an auxiliary rectangle in between, but let's not there's no need to really dwell on that auxiliary rectangle, but for the purpose of visualization, so from here you can form an auxiliary rectangle. So from your, so you have the width there. I hope you can see it, and then you also have the length there. So the one in yellow is your auxiliary rectangle. Auxiliary meaning it's extra. So auxiliary rectangle. Alright, so there are it's quite overwhelming, but just put in mind that the important ones are the following. Okay, so we have your curve, the hyperbola comes in pair. You have the center, you have two vertices, two foci, and then when you're able to identify your transverse, you can also identify your conjugate axis. Then you have your asymptotes and your auxiliary rectangle. Okay. The moment you're familiar of the different, or you can already pinpoint so the rest of the parts, as long as you're familiar with the equations. Now with your equations, okay, so what are the possible equations? We have general equation. We have ax squared. Okay, a and c here will have different signs. Minus cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. And then we have the other one, cy squared. When c is positive, a is negative. Ax minus ax squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. These are the general forms. So if you have a parabola, hyperbola, of this form, the first one, then you actually have a horizontal hyperbola, meaning to say your hyperbola is opening left and right. Left and right. But if you have your general equation here below, then your hyperbola is facing up and down. So it's a vertical hyperbola. Alright. And then in terms of standard form of equation, center, say the center is at HK. So similar to that of an ellipse. So here we have x minus h quantity squared all over a squared minus y minus k quantity squared all over b squared equals 1. And always remember, the right side of the equation should always be equal to 1. How about for the other one? So for this equation below, the standard equation will look like this. We have y minus k squared all over a squared minus x minus h quantity squared all over b squared equals 1. Okay, what does A represent? Alright, so A represents the distance from the center to your vertices. Okay, so A will represent, so A is to the vertices. Okay, this refers to vertices. And then B refers to co-vertices. Okay, B is this refers to co-vertices. But how does A and B relate? So A and B here, so we can get C, which refers to the foci. Okay, we know that C squared is equal to, this time this is A squared plus B squared. Okay, so in such a manner that this is derived from the concept here. So we go back to your hyperbola. So if you have here the transverse axis, and then you have the conjugate axis, then you have an asymptote. Okay. So here you have an asymptote, right? You have the asymptote also here. Okay. There is actually a triangle formed here. So there is a triangle formed, okay, there. And then it's a right triangle. Since A is the distance from the center, let me zoom in because it's so cute. The center, the distance from the center to the vertex, that is A. And then C here is your hypotenuse of the right triangle formed. So B will be the distance from the vertex to, so the co-vertices. And then that's where the relationship between A, B, and C comes from. Alright? So these are the things that you'll have to remember so that you'll be able to get the idea of how will your hyperbola look like. Okay. So aside from that, you can get the length of your transverse axis and conjugate axis. Okay, so from A and B.